Welcome to another Straight to the Point podcast. Your girl Chelsea, got your boy Vince here. Today we have a very special interview. Some of y'all know him by David Callahan. Others know him by Mr. DC Callahan.
DC the cause. You hit me with the government, man.
A lot of people, I be like, DC, they be like, who is that? And you know, when I do say David, they be like, oh, okay, I know who you're talking about. You know what I mean? So
like folks from early childhood,
yeah.
they don't know me. David, whatever, like anybody from 2000 on
they
to
gonna know you by
present day.
DC.
Yeah, you can't do that.
I hear you. Strip Man did the same thing. When I hit him with Strip Man, he was like, I don't go by that no more.
Right. Yeah.
But it's glad to finally get you in here.
Appreciate it. It's an honor.
It's a legend.
Don't
Born.
say that. Don't say that.
Hey, to Cartersville you are.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Facts.
You mention your name, people be like, hey, that boy be going in.
I ain't even know.
Yeah.
I ain't even know, like, that serious,
Very well known.
like, hearing younger cats say that they know of me or whatever. Cats that I ain't met, people who were, like, babies.
Yeah.
Last time I was around. So that's always beautiful.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's surreal, though, at the same time. So I don't know what expectations to live up to. It's just do me.
Because when I mentioned you to Josh, like, last week, he was like, man, I don't know, because he didn't grow up around the hills and all that stuff. But then when he listened to some of your stuff, he was like, oh, yeah, okay. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, no, Josh, though.
Yeah.
Like, I never even had to sit down and just talk to him or whatever. But Patrick Washington had put me up on him.
Yeah.
I was like, I had just finished my second mixtape when I was behind the wall. And I had talked to Patrick, and he was like, man, you got to link up with this dude named Josh.
Yeah.
And I finally went on his social media, and it was like one freestyle he had put up from like high school. And it was a punchline like other writers know punchlines and stuff. I heard he said something like he got hoes that farmers don't.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was kind of witty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of remind me of me. But I finally heard some official tracks from him, and like I respect him as an artist. I hadn't even met him yet.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's dope.
Because I even put him on. I was like, hey, DC. He was like, I remember the name, but I don't remember. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, growing up. So I was like, just go to his Instagram. He went on there and listened to some of your stuff. He was like, oh, boy, going in.
Yeah.
Like, he going in.
Trying.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Want to hit him with your first question?
Really just what inspired you to even start doing music? Like, what got you into that vibe?
I'm black.
Yeah, it just comes with it.
I mean, but now besides that, like it's crazy. I was a nerd. I'm still a nerd, black nerd, and I was like, I feel like my generation of black nerds, we were like the sacrificial lambs for black nerds of this day because we really caught the bad end of it. But I used to collect comic books, and music was always a part of me, period. But I remember I was collecting comic books in like in 1996. I'm dating myself, but I was 10 years old. I had, went to Record and Tape World. Y'all too young for Record and Tape World.
Yeah.
All right, where the Kmart used to be. What's that, a PetSmart?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, in that same plaza, man,
was
it was
there.
a place called Record.
Oh yeah,
I
Academy.
do remember. Yeah.
Academy, yeah.
I need y'all to know this history right quick, because y'all got to understand, like, Record and Tape World was a big part of Cartersville. You know what I mean? It being a small town and us not having the internet and everything else, so all our music came from Record and Tape World. But long story short, my sister took me there, and she was like, pick out a CD. And I go, I saw ATLings, and it had the whole comic book format. And I was like, I'm going to get this. It's got Atlanta Braves on it, you know what I mean? Metro area, all of that good stuff. And got the CD, and it had this comic book in there, and I was reading the comic book, and I don't know, I kind of correlated music with them having like superpowers, so it was kind of weird. I wanted to be a superhero, and that was the closest thing I could get to being a superhero in real life. So I was like, if these dudes could put words together like that, there's got to be something special about them, and I wanted to mimic that.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, because I remember, like, back in the day, like, I was always attached to Dink Hip. You know what I mean? And you and AD was like this, inseparable.
Yeah.
And that's how I always, you know what I mean, like, came in contact or ran across y'all because I was always there with Dink. And y'all used to be out there just freestyling and shit like that.
Dink
you know
is
what I
that
mean?
dude on the low, like Trill was my first, Mr. Trill, Chevron. That's my cousin, but he was the first one who like inspired me to music. But Dink was the first one who like brought me backpack rap. You know, he was bringing me like the Lyricist Lounge CDs. He was like, well, you got flow. I'm finna put you up on a lot of other stuff. He was just putting me up on a lot of East Coast artists. Lyricists, and Dink was the truth at the time. So it was like I was trying to copy his style. But yeah.
That's that laid back rap.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's different.
Yeah.
It's, especially from now mainstream rap. Now it's like more about melody and cadence. But back then coming up, it was more about the words. People didn't really care how you said it. It was more about what you said. So now it's like trying to blend that.
They want to hit them punchlines and, you know what I mean?
How you feel about this, the new rap, the mainstream rap that's going on right now? How you feel about that?
It's a love-hate relationship with it.
Yeah.
Because it's like rap is different from any other field of expertise. It's like if I'm a mechanic and you're a young mechanic, you want to learn how to be a mechanic.
Right.
I got to give you the game for you to be a mechanic or whatever. Like with music, older cats become the teacher. I become the student because it's like hip hop is what's hip. You know what I'm saying? Like can't nobody 40, 50 years old tell you what's hip. You know what I'm saying? Like the younger generation get to decide what's hip, and older cats like myself, you know, I hate to say it, but you know, being in my 30s, like I have to learn to be a student of the younger generation, but I like it. I feel like they do things better than we did coming up. They extracted what they thought would work, melodies and simple hooks. You know what I mean? Producers really should get a lot of the credit nowadays. Production is on a whole nother level, but I think we kind of shied away from the message.
Yeah.
And like rappers don't stand for much these days. It's like it's all money, drugs, you know.
Yeah.
Same old same, but I like it and I don't at the same time.
I feel you on that. I already know it. And I was gonna ask you that. I was gonna ask you that too. When you do write or when you do, you know what I'm saying, make your music, what is the message that you trying to get out when you putting out there? So
the crazy thing about it is I don't even want to put out a message. I just like write. I started writing personally. It was like my diary. You know what I mean? And I write, period. It's not just music, but I write a short story, an essay, anything, and it's fulfilling for me. Music is just another outlet for it. But whenever I write, I'm just writing like the beat to tell me what to say, and it'll be times where I'm like, I'm just finna go mainstream, I'm finna dumb it down, and I'm not finna do nothing extra, but something extra come out. Because it's just,
it's just in you.
Yeah, it's a habit of my writing pattern.
So you say you consider yourself a ratchet revolutionary.
Yeah.
Give me a little more behind that.
Nah, it's just like, I actually heard that, or read that term somewhere, and it was like, it was perfect for me because it explains duality. I think we get too caught up in just being one thing or trying to personify a certain thing without giving ourselves room to be human. You know what I mean? Like, I'm righteous, but at the same time, I'm imperfect. I don't want nobody to hear my music, hear a conscious verse and be like, oh, he a conscious rapper.
Yeah.
And then hear me on another track and I'm on some ratchet stuff, because it's all me, you know. But I'm imperfect and I'm still growing, but ratchet revolutionary is like, I'm hood, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like we come from a common culture that's considered ratchet. You know what I mean? But at the same time, we understand that globally we go through the same plight. And for those who are on the more conscious end, we want to like change things. We want to rearrange some furniture before we die. So I'd be a ratchet revolutionary.
Okay.
Facts.
And then like, still like back when you was incarcerated or whatever, that's how I kept up with like your music and stuff on Instagram. Is that a way that kept you like focused and?
What, the music?
Yeah, writing and.
Man, yeah, most definitely. There's only a couple things that like I held on to from childhood to present day, and that was like learning, reading. You know, I was reading before I got locked up, but learning and writing and music. You know, it's like a constant or whatever. It's so much a part of me to the point where I can't go without it.
Yeah.
Like I'm at work every day. Like I already got enough material to. I wouldn't have to make another album, but I still write every day, even if it's in my head. You feel me?
And I saw you grew a big old fan base in there too. Like them boys is like amping you up.
Oh
like,
yeah, man. Nah, it's love, man. You'll be surprised at the connections, man. shout out to Fam, Goon, Rollo, all of them. Like, man, these cats, some real folks or whatever. That was one of the first studios I was invited to when I got out there in Pakistan. Before they came and got him. But like everybody is gotta think about it. It's like Georgia's, it's a penal state. There's a lot of people locked up behind the wall. Everybody knows somebody that's behind the wall, and you'll be surprised who might be in the circle while you rapping or whatever. But I done met a lot of good connections, a lot of good brothers behind there, and it's like they support good music because it's not they aren't looking for the same thing out here in the mainstream. It's more about the words and what you're saying.
Speaking of that, do you want to go mainstream?
Nah.
Nope.
I mean, I would like mainstream exposure, but I wouldn't want to have to jump through the hoops that a lot of artists have to jump through to get to the mainstream. And I still want to stay independent. I had no idea that it was so cutthroat in the industry or whatever, but I actually had an opportunity to sign an EP deal. And I read the contract and I didn't know the lingo, so I had to pass it on to everybody who I thought did know the lingo. And by the time it got back around to me, I gave it to my sister, and she up on hers, and she like told me like, nah, they trying to own you. They want your masters. You know what I mean? They want to be able to make money off of your name, and I just couldn't imagine it. It's like I just got out. I don't need to get in another one. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Exactly.
But mainstream exposure, most definitely. I think everybody would like to be have a platform where millions of people would see them. Any artist, but just take what I can get, man. I'm just made like everybody always saying, man. When you make it, like I'm making it. You know what I mean? I'm making music. It's up for you to purchase it. Or for you to be a fan of it. You know what I'm saying? Don't wait until everybody listening to it, and then you want to jump on the bandwagon. Like, man, support it so that we can get it there. And then rep for me, and I'll rep for y'all. You know what I mean?
That's a lot of that going on.
Yeah.
That's how it always is.
Yeah. And that's why we was like, that's what one of the part of the reasons why we started, the Straight to the Point podcast, to try to we got a lot of talent in Cartersville. Yeah. Like, we trying to promote it and get it out there, push behind the people. You see what I'm saying?
What y'all doing beautiful.
Yeah, like
that's beautiful. Like, dead serious, and that's. I hope they don't take it for granted, this generation, because I know what it's like before internet, before people were really promoting themselves on social media. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of lazy people. You know what I mean? Who's to say even if we did have it back then, somebody would have stepped up and say, I'm finna create a platform so talent around the town can actually be heard. So I mean, salute to y'all. Yeah. That's beautiful.
Appreciate it.
When it comes to the industry and we're having the internet and all that now, do you feel like a lot of people making it just based off they
internet
can reach people quicker now? Like they ain't really working as hard, or do you feel like, you know what I'm saying, there's cats that's still out here actually grinding and doing what it takes to go through the hoops and the loops and all that to get to where they gotta be?
I mean, I think it's all work.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you know what I mean? Whether you pulling up and you selling it out your trunk, or you making a post, it takes time and energy to put anything out.
Right.
We grown ups, we got jobs, we got responsibilities, we got priorities. So anybody who can carve out time in their day to put towards a social media platform or whatever, salute to them. I don't think it's easy. I think that some people put out content and it's overnight because it's the content grabs that much attention, but I mean, you still have to keep up that momentum. You can get a lot of followers, but people can unfollow you just how they started following.
That's true.
So I wouldn't talk down on any social media, internet sensation. Like, you doing something I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So I want to go back to when you first started. Like, did you cover a beat? Like, your first time putting out something, was you covering beats, or where did you get your first beat? Do you remember where you got your first beat from?
I put out my first project behind the wall, and that was Law Abiding Citizen. I was going on the internet. I had a phone in there illegally. You know what I mean? Disclaimer. But Edgewan, shout out to EJ. Okay. You know what I mean? Edgewan, I had linked up with him. It's crazy. When I was putting the project together, I put down a list on paper, everything that I needed to complete the project. And production, of course, was one of the main things. So right there by production, I was like just writing down any type of way I could get a beat, whether it be through YouTube or whatever. And I was meeting producers on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
I might steal Lebanon Don. He from Louisiana. He from the boot. Make a lot of backpack beats, and I learned how to steal beats off of the internet on my phone. So I steal a beat, record over it, and send it to him like, "Hey, I did this to your beat. I still want to lease it." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he had looked at it like, "Dang, he could have stole my beat and just ran with it, and he behind the wall." You know what I mean? But he started just sending me whole packs of beats or whatever. Like, man, any beat I post, you can use it. And Edgewan pretty much to this day, Edgewan, like, if I post anything and you like it, let me know. But he did all the engineering on my first and second mixtape that I put out. So yeah, it wasn't everything wasn't YouTube, and then I didn't have to do a lot of covers. I did some covers just out of respect, but I didn't have to.
Yeah. Okay. So what helps you get into your creative zone? Is it when you hear the music, or you just certain vibes, certain?
Man, believe it or not, man, it's a voice in my head that's rapping all day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Rapping right now.
Right now as we speak. Yeah, and it's crazy. Like, especially like if I just get tired of myself and it's not too much going on around me that warrants my attention or whatever, I'm able to just be in my head and think concepts, songs, whatever. But nah, I rap. I don't have to be inspired. I'm alive.
Okay.
That's an inspiration to know. There's always something to talk about.
And then you touched on like Dink and Chevy were the first ones, and the city that made you want to rap.
Yeah.
Like in the industry, who were some of the people that you looked up, or music other than the ATLians?
I mean,
Outkast.
First and foremost, the whole Dungeon fam. It ain't even just about Outkast. That's a fam.
Yeah.
But Dungeon fam, I was a big fan of Nas coming up.
Okay.
Like, I felt there's certain artists that you hear throughout the years or whatever, and like anybody who relates to you the most, you feel like you can relate to the most, they make you feel normal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And coming from where we come from, you know what I mean, certain demographics, activities or whatever, Nas, Bun B, Andre 3000, they like represented the smart guys. That was like, they were street enough to be out there on the block, but at the same time they were smart enough to where they could go to a seminar. You know what I mean? And I always respected that. So those were the artists, like any other artists who actually stood for something, and they were tough, but at the same time they like exemplified some type of intelligence. I was inclined to listen to them. Those were the artists that made me feel normal, that made me feel like I could do it.
Okay. Do you listen to any of the young cats around Cartersville now? You be like, oh yeah, that one next up or whatever.
Man, Gutter, what Lil said.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I went into the studio with him, man. I was just impressed with him. Like I said, Josh earlier, but I'm still waiting on some more content from him. But I heard some music from Sid.
A lot of people sleep on Sid.
Man.
A lot of people don't know how Sid get down. He sends, and it's funny you said it, because every time he drops something, he sends it to me. Bro, what you think it is? Bro, what you think? I got like, I swear, like 40,
in my messenger.
In my
Straight
messenger.
in my messenger.
That's all he does. He's sending me music in my messenger 24/7. I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people don't know that he really gets it in.
Yeah, he does, man. But JV, most definitely, that's my little cousin, man. He been going in. It's a lot of talent, but it's like Cartersville the same as any other city, and really globally in hip hop, man. It's like a new artist every week, and I'm like, I didn't even know you rap.
Exactly.
So, you know, sometimes I'm impressed, and then other times it's like, man, do you really want to do this, or you just doing it because it's the thing to do? Because like me, South, Strip, and Hurt, Chevy, all us, like we was doing it when you actually had the rap. You know what I mean? You couldn't just come up with something catchy and feel like you was that dude.
Exactly.
I feel like, and it ain't just a generational thing. I just feel like in this moment in music, people are overconfident and they don't have enough talent to back it. That's generally. You know what I mean? That ain't got nothing to do with older or younger.
Or they feel like my boy doing it, so I can do it too.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
So tell me, do you remember the first time you had a performance? Like, do you remember what that feeling was like the first time you got on stage and you let the crowd hear some shit you had wrote?
Yeah, man, locally.
Yeah.
Millennium.
Millennium.
If you remember Millennium, it's making me sound real old. But if you know about Millennium, that was a teen club back in the day over there in the Stonewall Puckett Street or whatever, and it was just our club.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they had rap contests, and I went in there, and I remember me, South, Amanda Wiley, we all went up there individually or whatever, and I actually won the contest.
Okay.
And it was a good vibe, but I wasn't able to collect the spoils from the contest because my mama was outside the club talking about if I wasn't out there in 5 minutes, she was gonna come in there and beat me in front of everybody. And I ran back out to the car. I'm like, man, I just won this contest. Like, and she was like, I don't care nothing about that. Get in the car.
Yeah.
Nah, but it was the natural high alone of winning the contest. That was rewarding enough. I wish I could have got the money and the studio time that they were offering.
Yeah.
But that was my first time, and it's been a couple times since. But we've been rocking out in the city a lot lately, doing showcases.
Okay.
You have to hit us up and let us know when so we can come out and support.
Most definitely, man. I'll be performing at the Union. It's off flat shows in East Atlanta. Yeah, they do a showcase every Tuesday. Yeah. And getting in there.
Okay.
Yeah, man. So I'll post it up. You'll be able to find it on IG whenever it goes down.
Was you nervous first time you got on the stage?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Like
first it was all Cartersville people, so.
Yeah, but then it's another thing. It was like Millennium used to be popping, so it wasn't just Cartersville.
People came from Rome,
Millennium, Marietta, everything.
Majority of it was Cartersville.
Yeah, majority was Cartersville, but anytime we went to Cantina, it was majority Marietta.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? It was like they would come down to our territory or whatever, so it was just like a melting pot at the time, cause it was. That's what made it fun for us. I don't think people would have went as much if it would have just been the same cats you seen in school earlier. Though. Like you saw new faces when you went there.
I remember the first time I snuck in the cantina, Sharita came up to me and she said, "I'm finna snitch." I said, "Don't be snitching."
Nah, man, everybody's trying to be grown. Yep. Like if I had a daughter and she tried to go in Millennium, if they revamp that, no, you can't. You can't go in there. Yep. Not at all.
Right. So what you been working on lately? You got like a EP or anything coming out?
I got so much material, and the idea is for May 20th to drop an EP that people can stream wherever, and to drop a mixtape that they can purchase with probably 4 additional songs.
Okay.
But I got so much material, it's crazy. Like it's picking them, and I'm real meticulous about what I put out there. You know what I mean? As far as quality, something might sound good today, and then I'll wake up tomorrow and be like, that ain't it.
Yeah.
And then it'll be a song I didn't think was talking about nothing today, and then tomorrow I'll be like, it's kind of riding. I might want to throw it off in there.
Yeah.
But just getting that organized, and May 20th I'll be putting out an EP at the very least.
Okay. You keep a team around you to help you pick out your material, or you pick it out yourself?
She helps. She helps.
She be like, nah, that ain't it.
She helps. Nah, I mean, I got other artists that I respect. Jeff the Verb Williams. You can find him on social media, but he's a poet out of East Atlanta or whatever. But he's an artist, like acting, poetry, rap, all of that, and I send a lot of music through him, cause he'll let me know, all right, that's dope, but you need to work on this. But I keep a team of creators around me, and I might not even listen to them, but I need the critique.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if it agrees with something that I already been thinking in terms of delivery or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
It just confirms it.
I'm gonna rock with it. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Okay. So I had something else and I just lost everything I was trying to say. Kind of like the introduction. But I guess we'll go ahead and see. You want to get in the booth and spit something for us today?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, you was over there rapping in your head while we was doing the interview, so it's only right.
Tell me when to go.
All right, you want acapella or you want a beat?
Give me a beat.
All right, well, we're going to go do this, go let him get in the booth, and then we're going to come back and go with the rest of the interview.
Yeah. Ain't no dents in my arm, I'm cut from a different cloth. Keep it 100, I get this shit to you, one cut like a brick of raw.
They saying I'm conscious because I be coming up with some prolific thoughts. They saying I'm conscious, but I really don't give a fuck what these niggas thought. I can't be stuck in no category. I don't be stuck in the labels of boxes. I don't be up in the studio making my music for no major label to profit. I don't be riding no way cause it's poppin'. No, that ain't the way that I rock it. Too much of an artist for that. Got too much flavor to copy. Occasionally I might borrow a cadence just so I can say it where they could acknowledge, but they don't want knowledge. They want the violence, the money, the bitches, the yayo, the choppers, the chaos, and all of that shit to be lit. Fuck dropping knowledge just make you a hit. Shit you be spitting might get recognition, but dog, it ain't gonna nobody rich. Industry pimping these rappers like hoes and dog. I can't be nobody bitch. The culture is backwards. Most of these rappers promoting some whole shit that's so not legit. See, me, I did it for the cause, and they did it for the fame, man. Rappers, y'all be thinking hard. I be looking at them like they lame, man. Swear to God, Florida.
So y'all just heard DC get in there and kill the booth. Like, he wasn't even playing with y'all this time.
I know what it is.
But y'all already knew that, though. So, we're going to jump back into some more questions for you.
Yeah, man. Got to before we close it out.
I want to know, do you have any people locally that you're willing to collaborate with?
Yeah. I mean, really anybody who's really like inspired to
Serious
really make
vibes.
music.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, I ain't, like I just said in the verse, I really ain't, I'm not too going off of the prospect or the possibility of making money. I know that's there. I ain't gonna be broke,
Yeah.
God willing, but I'm not worried about money. I'm not worried about no fame and nothing. Like, I just want to make good music and I want people to hear it and give me feedback. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right.
I guess feed my creative ego, but whoever willing to do that. But Sid Jones, we had already been talking about.
yes.
She dope, and I feel
Yep.
like she cut from that same cloth. She one of the artists that make me feel normal when I hear her music. So
Yep.
Okay.
Real dope. Have you ever worked with any celebrities? Any mainstream artists on projects?
Not out here on the street like that. So I was behind the
Yeah.
wall in the session. Yeah, but nah, not any mainstream celebrities. I haven't done any work. I've been invited to a lot of studios since I've been out.
Yep.
Like I said, John Doe, he's Rollo's right hand man. He and I used to write back in the day or whatever. And he's one of the up and coming artists that's
Yep.
doing their thing. Trouble, I saw him behind the wall. We used to be in the session or whatever,
Trouble.
but
I
you
love
Yeah.
Trouble.
yeah, he the truth. But he used to be the goofy cat around the
Yeah,
session.
yeah.
You know what I mean? VL Deck, if you look him up, he young scooter. He like deal with duct tape. He from Edgewood. But it's a lot of cats that I've made music around. I made music with behind the wall that I just hadn't had a chance to since I've been out.
Okay.
But God willing.
But y'all made plans back then that when we get out, we gonna link
Most
and we gonna get it
definitely.
done.
Look,
It's gonna happen.
most definitely. Like I said, I was in Pakistan like 2 weeks after I got out, and they was like, "Man, you need to come down here to the studio," and everybody
Yeah.
was in there. So some people like they kept their promises, and others is like they get caught up in their own thing. But I
Yeah.
can understand it because it's hectic out here,
That's true.
and if you're trying to succeed as an artist yourself, it's like you can't overextend yourself. Pouring into somebody else's craft
Yep.
and take your attention off your own. So it ain't even no love lost for the ones who didn't come through.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, maybe eventually.
Is it any other artists that you're wanting to work with already in the
Already in the industry.
Yeah.
Anybody that's an artist, man.
Yeah.
Like
You just
anybody
out here
that's
trying to get it.
yeah, anybody that's an artist, because like that's another thing that separates back in the day or whatever you want to call it in present day in music is like if you buy a mainstream album right now from a artist that's popping, 9 times out of 10 it's gonna have a little baby feature on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's gonna have Amigos feature.
Yep.
It's gonna like back in the day it was like people really collaborated based on who they gel with creatively. And now I think it's industry. It's like, all right, we know he doing numbers, so
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
gonna link up with him. So it's no difference between the mainstream and anything else. I want to collab with people who gonna push me to do the best I can do. And I know cats that don't even have notoriety.
Yeah.
They go harder than industry
That's true.
cats. So
Facts.
I'm not phased
Yeah.
about trying to get a feature from a mainstream artist. I just need to be on there with somebody who's gonna make me be the best artist I can be.
Okay.
And speaking of working with people that's gonna push you to do your best and stuff like that, what kind of advice would you give to the Gutter, the Josh, all them cats that's coming up now, that's trying to get they, what kind of advice would you give to them, knowing that you've been doing this for so long?
All right, kill two birds with one stone. I'm gonna shout out to a cat named Leslie Singleton,
Okay.
aka Mr. Bam, and you can find his music on all platforms, man. He from College Park. He down on the L, but when I tell you that's my favorite rapper, period,
Mm-hmm.
mainstream, underground, whatever. But he was like light years ahead of me creatively, and I remember trying to write songs with him, and he used to always say, "Bruh, you taking too long to write your verse because you trying to be me. You trying to
Right.
sound like me. You
Yeah.
trying to do what I do." He said, "You can't do what I do." He said, "But I can't do what you do. Can't nobody tell your story better than you.
Right.
Just be you, tell your story, and express that, and then the best artistry will come out." So I pass that jewel on to anybody who would pick it up from Mr. Bam, man.
I like
OG
that.
shit.
Yeah,
I
that
like
was a
that.
good
And
one.
that's real talk. I know when I used to write, I used to write all the time when I was younger. I never put nothing out. I never wanted to actually do nothing. As I got older, I started trying to get serious with it. And I realized when I'm writing about my personal shit, my own situations, that's when I write the best shit.
Indeed.
The last, like the shit I'm working on now is some of the best shit I ever.
Anytime.
And now I got the confidence to actually let people hear it because it's true
it's
shit.
honest.
Ain't
It's
nothing,
honest.
ain't no fabricating in it.
Yeah,
And that
whenever
shit works
it's
way
honest, man,
better.
it's gonna flow. It just sound different. It's
Yeah.
more soulful. You know what I mean? It's deeper. It's heavier when it's real. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's facts, man.
So you got any people you want to shout out? You pretty much did it throughout the interview.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole TC, man. I ain't put Mr. Man, Woke Up the Man. That's it. Look that up on all platforms and find out why he my favorite rapper, industry, whatever. You know what I mean? Jeff the Verb. Look him up on social media platforms. Like, man, there's so many of us. It's crazy. John Doe, Fam Girl, John JeanDeau. It's one of them old French names.
Okay, yeah.
He got exotic
Like
with
some
it.
pop
But
up
nah,
type
that's
shit.
my people.
Yeah.
Whatever. There's so many people to holler and shout out. But you know, we'll catch up, man.
Yeah.
Until
Facts.
next time.
And let them know where they can find you on social media and
All the
listen
Trill
to.
City Firstborn though. Know that.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean? Yo,
yeah.
my bad. I'm sorry, but yeah, I'm still TCFB, man.
Exactly.
Can't do nothing but
Can't
be
forget
that.
that.
But yeah, and Mr. Trill, man, the reason why a lot of these cats in the Ville doing what
Yep.
they're doing, you can't forget that.
Yeah.
Like a lot of cats really, another thing, just like last point,
No, you did.
y'all being of the younger generation, like I just dropped this jewel. We gotta reconnect on the generation gap. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yes.
We gotta reconnect because people who lay a foundation don't get accredited for laying the foundation.
Mhm.
And it's
Yep.
a disadvantage to y'all because y'all don't have a blueprint. It's like if you want to build a car, bro, and you try to do it from scratch today, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You wouldn't know how to build a car. It'd
Exactly.
be best to consult somebody who's
Yeah.
built the car
Exactly.
before. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it's the same thing with music and just generation. It's like, understand that you can't mention Cartersville rap without mentioning Mr. Trill.
You
Period.
can't. You can't.
It's impossible. You know what I
Can't.
mean? He a part of that fabric. So shout out to him.
Yep.
Yes.
Lastly.
Most definitely.
Yes.
So you
And
want
he be checking in too.
I
He be,
already
Yeah.
know you checking
yeah,
in on
he
me all the
stay
time.
He
Yeah.
stay
know.
checking in.
I already know.
He really fucks with the Straight to the Point podcast.
I already know. He's still a fan of music. He
Yeah.
still love
Yeah.
music. You know what I mean? So yeah.
But yeah, so let them know on social media where they can find you and see what you're working on and stuff like that.
Follow me on IG. DC the Cause, DC _ DA _ Cause CAUSE. And follow me right there. Anything else, man, I'll let you know where you can click on the link. But man,
facts.
there's some stuff coming out. I'm putting out more content. I'm not being as meticulous and picky. I'm just putting it out there like it
Yeah.
is what it is.
Okay.
That's what's up, man. That's what we need. We're ready to hear it for sure.
Exactly.
Man, I appreciate y'all.
Definitely ready to
We
hear it.
appreciate you coming out. So there y'all heard it first. DC. Anything he got going on, all the work he got going on, we will be keeping in contact with him, letting y'all know where to go and follow him and go support him and his shows and all that good stuff.
Yep.
And until next time, you have just tuned into another Straight to the Point podcast, and we are out.
Talking 40 acres, a bunch of paper, and ownership of my culture too. Why they made a living off of killing niggas softly, we was just surviving.